Hi everyone, my name is Moss and welcome back to my island Wild's End. Today is really exciting because I'm finally starting a really big build that I've been looking forward to ever since I started this island. It's going to be a big, overgrown, sort of semi-abandoned library that will take up most of the northwest corner of my map. So this library is going to include the museum and an attached research center, plus most likely Dobie's house and Bones' house once I have Bones on my island. So I'm just showing you the map here so you can see what kind of space I'm working with. Basically this whole raised area in the top left corner is where the library is going to be. So in this video specifically, I'm going to be mainly focusing on the entrance to the library and sort of the bottom portion of it. I'm using the white customization of the wooden bookshelf here to go with the statues, but I think I might end up changing it to the dark brown customization because that's what I'll be using in the rest of the library, and I think it looks more natural, so I might end up changing that. I really like these fake Gallant statues actually, and I definitely wanted to use them for the entrance because the fake ones have David holding a book, so obviously it's appropriate here. And I wanted to have something kind of grand and regal to frame this entrance. It's also going to be a little bit more symmetrical than my builds usually are, just in this one area, so it sort of contributes to that old regal vibe. I'm using a lot of this grassy customization on top of the stone flooring and also leaf piles in order to add to the overgrown feeling, like this library has been around for a long time and it's kind of been left to the elements for a while. I do want to talk just briefly about some inspiration, not just for this build, but for my island in general. I am really inspired by other video games like Legend of Zelda and specifically Breath of the Wild, and it's a big influence on this theme that I've chosen. That's sort of like a rustic farming town that's also sort of built on top of some ancient ruins kind of thing, and very overgrown, and you feel like something was there before, before this town was built on top of it, but it's kind of mysterious. And I'm planning a sort of shrine or temple type of thing in the woods that's also very Legend of Zelda inspired. So that's just a little bit of where my theme comes from, and I've been for a really long time wanting to make an island that was kind of Legend of Zelda inspired, but not specifically Zelda, Legend of Zelda themed, but more just sort of taking inspiration from the artistic design of the areas in Breath of the Wild, because I find them just so beautiful and immersive, and it really inspires me. Yeah, I made the decision to plant a lot of weeds in this library area instead of having a lot of flowers, because I think It adds again to like the overgrown feeling, and sort of feels like they're like sprouting up between the cracks in this old stone flooring. So rather than having the bookcases and like the library in general be really structured and uniform, I want to make it a little more natural and like fragmented. So that's why I'm placing these bookshelves a little bit more chaotically, and instead of having them all in like rows or something like that. So here I'm just starting to build up some cliffs to add another tier to the library, but I won't be building anything on top of these cliffs in this video. I'm thinking this might end up being the area where Bones' house goes once I have him. So I'll be working on that area more in a different video when that good boy is finally here. Anyway, on the topic of like inspiration, again, I also definitely get a lot of inspiration for Wild's End from Lord of the Rings, and specifically like the Shire, because like that's kind of just like my dream place to live. Like if I could live in any fictional place, I would absolutely live in the Shire. And like it just that sort of like homey, comfortable, rustic, farming oriented kind of community. It just really, really appeals to me, and I wanted to really replicate that specifically in the residential parts of my island. And so hopefully that comes through, because that was also a really big inspiration to me in addition to Breath of the Wild. So this is now another day. I time traveled forward, and Leaf is here, fortunately, because I needed shrubs for my build. And I'm also going to go ahead and place the museum, but I won't really be working on the area right around it in this video. I just want to know where it's going so I can like work around it. But the museum area and the research center like nearby it are going to be the next build that I do for this library. Not the next video that I'm going to post, but the next time I work on this library, that's what I'll be doing. I also just wanted to mention, I know you can see my campsite down there on the beginning of the peninsula, but I'm definitely going to move that. The peninsula is actually where the research station is going to go, so the campsite will be moved, and I'll do a little bit, I'll sort of round off that cliff a little bit, and then we'll be working on that research center in the next build that I do for this library. I really hope you enjoyed this video, even though I didn't finish the area or really give a final tour, and I hope you stick around for the rest of these library builds because I'm really excited about this area. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye-bye.